Hi, it's
Hey Violet.
We were just on the Zach Sang show. We just talked about new music and spam calls and a Gerard Butler mug, which Nia desperately needs, so you should definitely go and watch.
Let's do this. Zach Sang Show.
Hello, beautiful human. We have Dan in the studio, and
Hello.
welcome back. Hey, Violet.
Hello. I like it. The hesitation.
I
So
never know.
suspenseful.
I'm like, do I clap?
Yes,
like,
you
are we
do.
clapping for ourselves?
Yeah, you clap
Thank
for yourself every time.
Yeah, you deserve it. You guys look great. Let's
Thank you.
There's clearly a retro vibe going on here, and it's okay not to be okay. Louder, but your bell bottoms, they make everything better.
Thank you. It's like the icing on the cake.
I'd like to say
I hate cake, though.
I introduced you to this specific pair.
They are They're the
They're
exact
Top Shop.
Yes, they're from Topshop.
Are
They're
you?
the ladies section,
Yes.
and he can work them very well.
Whoa.
Yeah, we own the same pair of jeans actually.
So when we wear, because he has a blue pair as well, and I only have the blue pair. I don't have the black pair, so when we we twin sometimes when we're doing stuff. We both wear like the blue pants and the white shirt, and then he walks in. I'm like, okay, I guess I need to change.
One of us has to change.
So, by the way, fashion obviously matters to this band and where you're going and the sound and the look, and it's obvious in the videos, and we'll dive into everything. But the three of you have been together for a while. Obviously, you guys are siblings. Are we at a point
Yeah.
where we want to claim him as an honorary sibling, or what?
I mean, yeah, definitely.
He been a
He been since we've known him. Basically, I feel like he does all our family stuff with us. Basically, lives at our house. I feel like it's just always kind of been like you've always just been around. I
Kind of
guess.
just burrowed my way in there and
Yeah.
like a tick.
He used to you know what's
That is terrible.
Wait, but the funny thing is when we used to have like in our previous band, like when he used to come over, we would make up excuses for him to come earlier. We would set like rehearsal time to be like 30 minutes earlier, and he would come in and he's like, all right, I'm ready to rehearse, and we're like, okay, no, we're hanging out for 30 minutes, and he'd turn around and go back in the car.
What?
And
I was
we'd
like,
wait out there.
why'd you tell me to get here early? Like, I would have shown up a half an hour late. Like, no, we want to hang out. I'm like, I'm here for work.
And then he turned out and then left, and we were like, okay, I guess
and
that's...
now we
Now they
love
can't
each
get
other.
rid of me.
Yeah.
No.
I don't want to be your friend. Professional only. I mean, it is special to have friends that you love to be around and do this with.
Yeah, if only we loved to be around each other.
By the way, you said other band. But
Yeah.
would you consider the members before and the versions before another band like a totally different group than it is
So, like,
today?
Well, I think
Different incarnations, I always say, because
Yeah.
like the band that Casey wasn't in, he was only in the last part of it. I would say that was a different band than this
Okay.
one.
because we went by a different name.
Got it.
But
So this
we
was
consider this band like
Everything under Hey
completely
Violet
new.
has been
new. Yeah.
okay, but if we go back to because the last time you guys were here 2 years ago, you had Miranda on with the couch with you, and then Ian was with you. Still the same band.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah,
that
sure.
was still the same band.
Yeah. So we're talking about like Cherry
Like,
Bomb.
way
Yes,
back.
yes, yes,
Yeah.
yes, yes.
Way back.
Got it. Yeah, because you've been. I mean, think about that journey for a while, like a second. You've been making music for a very long time. Ups and downs, ton of fucking challenges.
Absolutely.
Has it been more difficult over the last year and a half than it's ever been before? Or
There's
is
been challenges, yeah, I would say.
I would say that there has been a period, I guess I'll just dive right into like getting all personal, but I mean, I definitely was like, I was writing a lot, and I definitely had a period of time where I was really struggling like mentally, and my mental health was just kind of like it was really important for me to get back on track and just kind of I feel like, after a long time, you start to forget to take care of yourself, like self-care and like all of that stuff. And so that became really important to me while I was writing, and I was discovering like, oh, I need to actually like love myself. 'Cause I love what I do. I love like the people that I'm around, but I almost like I never wanted to be alone, and I have myself for the rest of my life. I have to be comfortable with me. So there had definitely have been challenges in the last couple years, but I feel like we've definitely grown to a place that we just like are so comfortable with each other, and like they know what I've been through, I know what they've been through, and like yeah, so
Yeah, because you go through so much together that it's like, I mean, you're not surprised by much after a certain point.
totally.
Yeah.
Do you realize that you need to love yourself while you're writing music? Is it before? Is it after?
I think it depends. It definitely had a lot to do with what I was going through at the time. You know, I had been through like a few relationships that weren't very healthy at all. And, you know, whether I was writing or not at the time, I think I just had this realization that I was like, oh, wow, I really need to kind of reevaluate myself. And, you know, when I was in one of those relationships, I started to forget who I was. You know, I started to kind of, you know, agree with whatever the other person wanted just to avoid arguing and stuff like that. So I really didn't realize like what I liked, what I didn't like, what I was comfortable with, what I wasn't comfortable with. And so I had to kind of just like learn about myself, which was a beautiful experience because I was like, oh, I know who I am now. I know like my boundaries, you know what I mean? So I thought that was, you know, and I did get to like, I think what's so special about what we do is we have that outlet, and we want to encourage our fans to have their own outlets, like however they want to express themselves, you know, because I think that's really important to not have all this like pent up emotion, you know.
Does that stuff come in? By the way, I cut somebody off.
No,
Sorry.
we're good. It wasn't important.
I got nothing to say.
Does all of that inspire Better by Myself and Close My Eyes?
Absolutely. I definitely feel like Better by Myself is like it sounds like really celebratory, and you know, it's kind of about how, I mean, it's kind of clear. It's like you're better by yourself, but then there's this other layer to it that's like, you know, maybe I'm isolating too much, and there is like that kind of second meaning in the lyrics that's like almost like glorifying, like I don't need anybody, it's all good, like arm's lengthening people. And that's what's so cool about the song is that I think it sounds so happy that people don't realize it, and that's why I'm like I'm like happy to like get to share like that kind of deeper layer to it. And I feel like, you know, then we had Close My Eyes come out, and that's kind of about like reminiscing about past relationships, like, oh, I wish I was still with that person. It's kind of like getting in your own head.
Yeah.
Queen of the Night is kind of like there's a 2-step forwards and there's 1 step back, where it's kind of like, okay, you know, this is another bad relationship. I gotta, you know, and I think we all have that, is that growth where we're just like, you know, oh, I'm making this mistake again. I have to be aware of that and then keep moving forward.
That's
so
part
I feel
of
like
healing in general, though, is
Totally.
you're never going to be just, oh, now I'm cured. It's always like you're going to be doing better, be doing better, and then it's going to be like, and I kind of failed again, or I kind of made the same mistake. But at least now you have that realization where you're like, I know what triggered that. I know what happened, so at least in the future I can kind of see my way out of that situation.
Navigate it better.
Yeah.
Better by Myself what kind of relationship was that written about? Because
Bad one.
is it a family relationship? Is it
romantic.
romantic?
Yeah,
it
was
could be
definitely
professional.
No, it was definitely a romantic relationship. Although, you know, there are, you know, I'm sure, you know, our fans can relate to it in any way that they want. But for me personally, it was definitely a romantic relationship. I had just gotten out of, you know, a really toxic, you know, relationship, and it was. I remember I was in the studio with a couple of guys that I wrote it with, and I just started like typing on my computer, which, you know, I usually am like I write in a notebook, which is crazy.
Yeah, what is that? You use your
What
hand?
is paper?
Prehistoric.
But I was writing so fast that I wanted to like keep up with my thoughts, and so so I just started really jotting down everything that I was thinking and feeling, and it became the whole song.
Hey, I'm really sorry to do this. Real quick, Mercari, cool app. If you want to make some extra money, if you want to clear up space in your house, use this app to sell your stuff. 300,000 positive reviews on this thing. It's legit a mint, okay? 100,000 items get listed on Mercari every day. They don't mess around. I got to read you something. I'm really sorry. What are you waiting for? I know you've got stuff to sell. You don't use it, so sell it, ship it, and get paid with Mercari. It's a legit app. It makes sense to use if you're looking to sell something. Use Mercari. It's on the app stores, all of them, or on Mercari.com. That's Mercari, Mercari, the selling app. 100,000 items get listed from all 50 states every day. People obviously use Mercari for a reason. So if you want to sell something, if you want to buy something, it's so freaking easy. Mercari. Now back to the conversation he came for. So at what point do you go into the studio? Like, do you have a moment where you are pissed off by this person that sparks it, or are you just like overwhelmed with emotion that you like are coming off from weeks ago? Like, do you know what I'm saying? Like, what is the timeline between everything that's happened and you actually sitting down and writing it?
Well, I think what's interesting is there are still like even in losing relationships, not just, death of somebody, you still have those stages of grief.
Yeah.
And so and it's not 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. It's like 1, 2, 3, 2. Like it goes,
I get it.
All over the place. So that's kind of how I was. I mean, I'm kind of a scatterbrain as it is. I'm a little all over the place myself. So I definitely had, some days where I was walking into a session and I was like, I need to write an angry song. And there's one in particular that I'm thinking of.
Is it the one that, which?
I don't know.
That
There's
we-
a few
Anyway,
angry
I wrote a
songs.
song called "Everybody Hates You"
Oh,
because I got
in that
cheated.
session.
Because I got cheated on, I kind of vented about it to them. I vented about it to my family, and I just needed to like express myself. And then that song came about. So anyway, we never released that. But
Why?
I think it was just, I think Better by Myself was a better representation of how I ended up feeling.
Right. The other song was kind of one of those steps to get to the other song.
Yeah, exactly. So it definitely like it was a cool song, but it was just I feel like Better by Myself really represented that I'm okay on my own.
But it needed, like what you said, it needed part in like that healing process.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I
I feel
definitely.
like lots of songs like that don't end up getting released are kind of like that. They're like working towards the song. You know what I mean? You end up going through these different stages of the songs, and you're like, yeah, this one's angry. Like this one, like I'm really sad. Blah blah blah, and then you
Something just
arrive
feels
at the
right.
one that
I also feel like
feels right.
we generally, maybe it's in like the last album from the outside and the singles we've been putting out, there hasn't ever been really something angry except for maybe This Is Me Breaking Up With You, which was more of a joke song.
Right.
But I feel like we don't really put out angry songs just because I don't think that's our main emotion as a band. I don't know. You
And I
correct me
think
if I'm wrong.
I think if we're really angry about something,
We ruminate too much to like have that be the only
well,
emotion.
not just that. I don't think it's bad to release an angry song in any way, shape, or form. I think we have many reasons to be angry nowadays, but I think if we're gonna do that, it has to be something that's like really, really close to home. It's not just gonna be about some guy.
Yeah, I
Like
get that.
I'm not gonna waste.
Ooh, yeah.
You're not gonna waste an angry record on some guy.
Yeah, I mean,
What if it's a hit and the hook is so great and
Then
it's
we'll consider
anthemic,
Yeah.
and they go, "This is the one." It's pretty fascinating.
yeah,
Because you want to keep your art true, right?
Yeah.
And in doing that, but sometimes you could be so true and too true, and then like in respects to your band, you could write a record that is like too intense and too true, and it doesn't fit the narrative that the band's looking to tell,
right,
Yeah.
but it fits a part of the narrative that you're looking to tell.
right.
Is that a balance that you like take into consideration?
I feel like we talk about that so often because I kind of imagine this like as part of your diary in general.
Right.
Like Casey and I have kind of realized even when we've been writing on our own that some things aren't meant for the band because it's not exactly just our story. There are things that Rena writes that relate to us, but it's not necessarily me going up in and writing about my breakup. I like to try and look through your eyes when we're writing because that's what I feel like a part of this is. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Focusing our energies into like the front woman.
Yeah. Or
It's
just
like
you
speaking
in
to
general.
like third person.
Yeah.
But just like in general, like leading the band, like putting
one point.
putting all of our ideas together through
Yeah.
you.
Right, so I kind of
You
feel
make it
like,
seem like this freaking
I know-
lifetime.
I know, I'm like,
Yeah.
I kind of feel like when it comes to balancing those things, I know that the three of us have a clear vision of how we want to sound and
we want to look like
and
all
what
that
we
stuff.
want to look like, like you were saying, like
He's
we actually
wearing-
accidentally matched today. I was like,
Did we match?
Well, okay,
You have
so
the yellow,
I
you
have
both
white
have
and
yellow.
yellow. You have yellow and you have white. So I'm like,
I wouldn't say that's matching.
I'm the glue.
I'm the glue that holds this band together.
Anyway, so I feel like when it comes to balancing those things, I feel like I was saying, we have a clear vision of how we want to sound. So when we're going into a writing session, maybe songs come out that are a little left field, but for the most part, we know what we want to do and how we're going to approach it. So, when we go into a session, it kind of, we usually collaborate with other producers
You
and
can always
songwriters and
pitch
stuff.
those other songs as well.
Exactly.
If you're like, I
Yeah.
love this song, but it's not for us, you can be like, well, go send that to freaking
Like-
Dua Lipa or something.
send that to
Go
somebody
send it
else.
over.
Like Everybody
yeah.
Hates You.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Who should cut Everybody Hates You?
Tool.
Naturally. I haven't heard the record, but sounds like a good fit.
You guys,
It just came out with new music, by the way.
the internet thinks "Close My Eyes" is about a masturbation song.
Yeah.
Are
Glad-
they wrong?
Yeah. Yes,
It is.
It is.
it
yeah.
is. Yeah.
Oh, so they're right.
Yeah.
Empowerment. Female bodies.
So
or
it-
Take care of
bodies in
yourself.
general.
Actually,
sometimes.
like, we don't obviously we don't focus on that part of it because our fans can be really young, but they know, they're so freaking
They
smart.
got the
you know?
internet.
Yeah.
They know everything.
And they do know everything. And yeah, but that song is about that. So I wanted to be subtle about it in the song, but there are some lyrics that just allude to it, obviously.
It closed
so.
my eyes. the title.
I mean, the
is-
pre-chorus
I'm gonna
is
get
pretty
under
low.
the covers with you, but I'm all alone.
Yeah,
Bada bing, bada boom.
She
there
wasn't
you go.
being that subtle.
Yeah,
she
I
didn't
know.
describe there wasn't any.
Yeah, you really
I
tried.
didn't say I wasn't going to talk about it. But yeah, so that good catch, by the way. Yeah.
It wasn't me. It was the internet. I was just reading what the internet
Oh,
said.
okay, well.
It's been a few years since we've had a masturbation anthem, so thank you
Oh my
Yeah.
god.
You're
for
welcome.
all those Jill,
Paving the way.
for all those Jill fans out there. Thank you.
Oh, you know which one? You know which one's great is I Touch Myself. By-
Yeah, but that was totally intentional.
Oh, absolutely. She has some. Yeah, that's. Anyway, where's this
Well, it's been
interview
a
going?
couple years, that Touch Myself song. It's been a while. That's what I've really been missing out on. Somebody singing my anthem.
Is that your anthem?
I said I'm a Jill fan.
Oh, I just didn't know if that specifically was your anthem. But you got
love it.
different strokes. It's fine.
Different strokes.
Oh,
yeah. That's a good way to put it.
Come on, really?
You've entered the wrong room.
Yeah.
We can curse without cursing all day.
Yeah. I've just been saying that lately. Just ended up playing up differently here. That's fine.
It all worked out for the best.
So, curious. What inspires Close My Eyes? Do you have a really great...
Masturbation story.
So one time, get this. Okay. Yes, there was.
Oh my God.
There was someone that inspired it, and surprisingly,
Ew.
he was. It was a long time ago. And I
But you
just.
still think of him?
I think I remember thinking about him a lot, and I currently don't. But I thought, when I was trying to write the song, I was actually going through my draft tweets, which it's a dangerous place, guys, but for all of us. But yeah, I was going through my draft tweets, and I have some that are from 2014, 15, 16.
Wait, what? How?
Yeah, and I remember finding one that kind of alluded to just that past relationship, missing someone and stuff like that. And so that resonated with me because I feel like in every, relationship that I've been in, if I had to end it, I had a really hard time cutting them off completely because I can be kind of codependent, but I also want to pull away when it's bad for me, obviously. And so I just feel like there was a little and there is he ended up having a girlfriend, and I always like needed to like kind of arm's length him because like, you know, it was just it's the new girlfriend. I can't.
I'm trying to
like,
put
I'm not
together
gonna-
in my head who you're talking about. And I have no idea.
Well, let's name some names.
Let's not.
I mean, it was someone that, you know, it was at like the start of when we, you know, started Hey Violet, and it was just kind of it was like a relationship and not a relationship. It was really weird,
So-
guys. It's like,
Hold on.
Yeah.
So it was a kind of relationship, not
It
really a
was kinda,
relationship.
yeah.
But you get inspired to write the song off after looking at tweets or
Yeah.
draft tweets about this guy.
yeah,
But
but from a long time ago.
got it. But would he still come up in your brain?
Or currently, no.
No, but before, while you were writing the song, like around that time.
While I was writing the song, I mean, I feel like he is the only person that I didn't like, you know, completely despise after we broke up. Like, not to be like,
Lucky him.
but yeah, I mean, it wasn't like one of those. It wasn't like my other relationships that it was just toxic and bad. And like I'm at a place in my life where I'm like, damn, I need something healthy. Like I got
salad.
I got to eat.
Relationship salad.
So I feel like for a long time I just didn't know what I wanted. They didn't know what they wanted, but that was like the one relationship that I was like that, you know, he was actually very kind to me, you know, for the most part. And so I, you know, while I was writing the song, I just know that I like looked back more fondly on that relationship than any of my other ones.
Would you want him to hear the record and know that it's about him?
No. I mean, I wouldn't, you know, I'm kind of an open book in that way where, you know, if it were to happen, like, sure, if he knows, like, why not? But I don't know. It's not something I'd like broadcast to them because, you know.
Is that a compliment?
I
Being
mean, somebody wrote a song about you. That's nice.
Yeah, but I
don't know
also
about
wrote
that.
Everybody Hates You, so.
Okay, true.
So, I mean, yeah, I mean, I wouldn't be like embarrassed if he knew, but you know, it's not something that I would go and like shove in their face, you know.
so you're not going to stand outside of their house with a boombox, blasting it.
We got a boombox. Okay, so this is just a really weird story. This was like a year and a half ago, or maybe 2 years ago. Remember, we got a boombox on our front porch.
What?
Playing
This was scary.
playing
Yeah, wait, what?
Wake Me Up Before You Go Go.
What?
Yeah.
Love that.
Wait,
yeah,
I don't.
right.
I don't remember the song.
that
I
happening.
remember the boombox. I don't remember it playing
Yeah,
that song.
it had the Wham CD in it. And and
A gift
yeah.
from the heavens.
yeah, and
I guess
and
so.
it was like, yeah, so anyway.
Is it a gift from the heavens? Because I feel like didn't we try and cover that song and it was like the worst cover we ever attempted?
No, we walked on stage to that song.
No, I think
Yes,
Did
we
we
did
cover
try
it?
to cover it.
we did try and cover it.
Yeah.
I probably
And it
I
was
blocked it out. It
horrific.
was so bad.
Yeah, you did. It was
We
horrific.
like did a tempo change. It was just like
Dark
really
times.
crazy.
Trying to do like a
That
modulation
tempo
in the
change.
middle of a verse or something. Like, no thanks. It was
Yeah.
bad.
You guys have an interesting relationship with Wham.
Yeah. I just added them to one of my Spotify playlists.
It's pure adoration, is what it is.
Take us on tour.
We won't cover your song.
we promise.
Oh my goodness.
Oh,
Well,
should we talk about Clean?
yeah, let's
Yeah.
talk about it.
Hell yeah.
Great. Tell us about it.
Great, go.
It's a good lead up.
Okay, so yeah, so we just had our song Clean come out on what? Friday? Thursday night.
I don't know days anymore.
So, we just had our new song "Clean" come out, and actually, what we did before it, which I thought was really cute, is we gave soaps to we sent soaps to our fans. It was actually really creepy for a second because we would message them and we'd be like, "What's your address?" And they would just give it over.
Really easy.
Don't trust strangers, kids. You
Do
don't
not.
know us.
Yeah, but we just sent them soap, and so it's actually really cute. One of them is carrying it around with her everywhere, and I don't know if
How
I got
doesn't it,
soap.
melt?
I know, right?
Is she using it?
I would.
And
use
she went to
it.
Disneyland. It's really hot, and I don't know how it didn't melt, but anyway. So so Clean, yeah. It's basically
Seems like a happy breakup song.
super happy breakup song, and I feel like it also almost has that layer of trying to convince people you're okay, because you're really, driving home the point that's like, I'm good, like everything's fine, blah blah blah. It didn't affect me, but a relationship ending affects everyone, whether you cared, whether you didn't care, like it still affects you in some way. And so, but yeah, I feel like it's definitely like more of a celebratory song that's kind of like, I am free, I am good, like, and I don't know, we actually played it for the first time in San Francisco. We did like a little mini tour, like 4 shows, and we got to play it. And by the second show that we played on that tour, people knew some of the lyrics. And I was like, oh my God, like what is going on? I started crying a little bit. And yeah, so it's just really cool to see how like dedicated our fans are. And they're loving the song.
Yeah, they like the song a lot, which honestly makes me like the song even more, because I'm like, when you see how your music can affect somebody, it changes. Because I feel like out of all of our songs that we've ever put out, Clean's very different. Like, it's very upbeat, and generally we always have that tone of the song sounds happy, but the lyrics are sad, or it's just always this some sort of balance. Where that sounds happy, the musicality's happy, the lyrics are happy. Yeah. And just seeing them, they're so like these girls are like sending in and being like, yeah, well, like me and my boyfriend just broke up, and like this is getting me through it. I'm just like, okay, that makes me just so like, I'm just stoked that we have a part in that we can kind of help you like get through that.
Yeah.
The power of music.
Yeah. Seriously.
I don't want to be that downer though, but is it happy because you didn't write it?
Yeah, probably. Yeah, but honestly though,
I don't want to be that
It
guy.
actually might
That's
be.
a good question. That's
That
a
might
really
be,
good question.
yeah.
I feel like I definitely always have. Yes. yes. How about that?
Yeah, it's just, I feel like there's certain ways that certain people write that, like, when you get any 3 of us into a room, there's gonna be something sad about that session. There
cannot
just
be.
is. It's just like, I don't know if we just write.
Everything we touch turns to sad.
That's a bad Casey. Neggy energy. Don't.
What'd you call it?
Neggy.
energy.
Yeah.
What do you won't even
Negative?
say the word? Oh, thank you so much. I couldn't pick that one up.
It's just like, I always cut down words. Like, I don't even say tomorrow, I say tomaz. So it's just
Tamaz.
like, I don't know where it comes from.
I say things like that too.
So like, even though like saying neggy is only 1 syllable off of negative, saying negative makes it sound too serious. It's like, stop with the neggy energy, Casey.
See it, Mom.
See it, Mom.
You don't even want to speak negative into
It's
existence.
just saying posy, but negative.
I don't say posy. That's the
I don't
problem.
say posy
Just
either.
I just need some sort of consistency in my life, and I can't, because I can't say posy, but I say neggy. It just doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, posy sounds almost like that singer Bozzy. I don't like that.
Yeah, I also just
don't
feel
like
like
that.
posy people already say. Nobody says neggy.
Who says
like,
posy?
like
Like-
body posy
or
and like,
like
stuff, which is fine.
posy,
Power to you, but
like inspo, like it's like a hashtag.
Where the f- are you all hanging out? What
Instagram.
What corners of the internet?
It's like body posy, and they're all like I don't know, like if you don't feel like if you felt
Health
insecure,
posy.
yeah,
it's just like
posy.
anything posy, like it.
What? Yeah, but I got
Anyway,
nothing
we
of
don't
that.
do it.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Back to what we're talking about.
Yeah.
You're not posy.
No,
No.
we're neggy.
Yeah.
Yes. I have a question for you. Is that okay?
Sure.
So is that
We're turning it around.
This is weird. What are you about to say?
is Zach saying your real name?
Yes.
Okay, so you sang, but you don't sing.
No.
Okay.
Sang his song.
Have you ever sang?
Don't get him.
Yeah, like, don't do this.
I could sing. I do believe that one day the Great White Way, known as Broadway, will one day have my name in lights.
Yes.
That would be awesome. Do Phantom of the Opera.
I can get into it, but I won't do it.
Wait, do you know it
I
though?
love it.
Do you like
I've seen it twice.
seen it? Oh, well, okay.
Well, how many times have you seen it?
Yeah.
I watched it like every night for like more than a week, maybe a month,
Like a
because I was
month,
obsessed with
yeah.
it. And then I read the book afterwards.
That's
and
pretty
then-
neggy.
Huh? I just got obsessed with it, and now I'm kind of in love with Gerard Butler. But I don't know.
She literally, I was like, what do you want for Christmas? Because I do my Christmas presents super in advance so that people forget what they
She got
wanted
them
and then
last
it's a
year.
surprise again.
What?
After Christmas last year,
Anyway.
she got the Christmas present.
Yeah. So I've had her presents for like Yeah, about a year. So.
Okay, what about Gerard Butler, though?
What the?
Said I just want anything Phantom of the Opera. That's it. That was all I was gonna say.
Or
guys.
anything
That's
Gerard
it.
Butler.
Yeah.
I found this thing on Redbubble the other day. I looked up Gerard Butler,
Yes.
and I found a cup, a mug, and I'm gonna buy it. Like when I get like a little
Like
extra
a mug
cash.
used by
no,
him?
no,
Or
no.
like-
It's on Redbubble. It's made by fans. So like, it's a mug with just Phantom of the Opera, his face, just on it, looking like this, and it's just like a bunch of pictures of him. I'm like, that's my new favorite mug. I'm gonna get it one day. It's gonna be mine.
When you have a couple extra bucks.
Yeah, like $5 in my account.
When you save up your.
Yeah,
What
right.
do your parents give you every week? Your
Allowance.
yeah, save up your allowance for the next couple months.
We're musicians. Money
couple
money
months.
ain't easy to come by. It's freaking sad.
Well, stream clean so she can get her cup, everyone.
Exactly.
She needs it.
Please.
10 streams a day.
Covered in
They've
Gerard
got
Butler.
Sarah McLachlan. Is that what her name
Yeah.
is? Like playing in the background,
arms
like
of
in
an
the
angel.
arms, and it's me with my Gerard Butler cup.
For only 2 streams a day, this mug could be hers.
Oh my god. Well, not to flaunt our wealth or anything. Oh my god! Don't make me cry. It took me so long to do this makeup.
Are you still hanging out at the mini golf course?
Oh my god, I went
one
there
down
a
my
few.
street?
I went there a few weeks ago and I thought about you.
How was it? Did you have a good time?
Well,
That's the greatest compliment he's ever received.
I walked into it's a little castle thing in the valley, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I walked in there. I was like, yeah, this is definitely the one that she's talking about.
Yeah.
Oh, you go there often.
So you know that one game you walk through and it's to the
Okay,
left.
he's not like a
Okay.
regular.
I play mini golf.
You're like I went once.
You know that one
The art-
game,
wait,
back
the-
left corner, throw machine to the right? Yeah.
The arcade ain't that fire right now.
Anyway, it's not. You know what? It does its
slaps.
job. It does slap.
All right, well,
And
tell us about the game.
so it's this Wizard of Oz game, and all you have to do is push the coins off the thing, you know, like, and then okay.
That's not like a fun game.
So
You're
it
just throwing
goes back
money
and
away.
forth like it goes back and forth like this,
I know
and you
it.
have to push the coins. I know I'm
Yeah.
explaining it for anyone who doesn't know, but whatever. Anyway, it's really easy. You just hit a button. That's literally it, and I love that game. I love it. I'll spend
That's like
hours
the
there.
worst game in the
I
arcade.
still,
It takes no
I still have some coins.
That's the game
that I
people
have to bring
play
back.
when other games are broken.
But,
no,
okay,
I don't play any games.
Yeah.
I have over 100,000 points there, so
Have you cashed
Yeah,
them in?
no, I'm saving them up.
Saving for what?
For what prize?
I don't know because
You're so like dumb.
they're never good enough because I'm like I've spent more for these dumb points than I would if I just bought that like on Amazon or something. You know what I
Exactly.
mean?
She's
So it's-
blowing
I
your
don't know.
mug money.
I know.
Stupid game.
Stealing from the Hey Violet account. Like, I hope she doesn't notice. It's
Loki, she's fucking $10,000 in a hole to the arcade.
it's fine. She got my Christmas presents last Christmas, so she already covered that.
Been showing up at the house with baseball bats. Like, you owe us.
I'm actually like secretly working there on weekends to like pay off my debt. Yeah.
So do you go there every couple days?
I haven't gone as much as I used to, but I love to go there like a ridiculous amount. Like I used to go right when they opened. Like straight up right when they opened and at the end of the night right before they closed.
legit-
Every day.
That's crazy vibes.
But you could be doing
Yeah.
like anything else. Like you're like making it look so bad because it's like, oh, we could be rehearsing. No, you're at the arcade.
Okay,
in the morning
but
to the night.
but I have all day to rehearse. So I go before and then after, and I have my 2 little time slots.
She's a gambler. She's figured out how to work it in with her everyday schedule.
Straight up.
I feel like the only time I've ever gambled was in Australia, and I lost $5, and I was over it. I was like, that is
Really?
enough. I was defeated. I was like, $5, I could lose so much
got
more.
You down?
$5 could have got you that
$5
mug.
Yeah, $5. This
Gambled your mug away.
it was before I was like in love with Gerard Butler.
If you can only go back.
If
in
only I
time.
could only go
Isn't he
back.
from there, Australia? Where's he
No,
from?
he's from Scotland.
Scotland.
No, he's this video on his Instagram account where it's him in the camera and he's like he's in Scotland and he's does a panorama, but he's in the middle, and he's like, Scotland, it's good to be home, and then does this freaking weird panorama,
It's
and he's
like-
just staring straight into the camera, and I have it saved in my Bay folder.
It's such a
What?
dad move. Like,
That's your clean.
It's
okay.
He was like Gerard Butler's my rebound
Or close my
from
eyes.
a relationship that ended 2 years ago. It's fine. Oh my God, I'm dying.
Wait, could we go real quick back to your Christmas thing? That's the weirdest
that
thing I've ever.
weird?
it's really weird.
Oh, deeply weird.
Yeah.
So
Oh, deeply.
Well, I just
So by December 26th or like the first week of January, you've already purchased everybody's Christmas gifts for the following year?
in between there, yeah. And it's not even for the discounts. I just think of stuff after that. I was like, oh, that would have been really good to get.
I just don't know how you know it's going to be relevant in a year.
Exactly.
That's what I don't get.
Yeah.
It's her present's gonna be relevant. It's gonna be so relevant.
Is it going to be relevant?
I don't know. That's me.
I don't think he knows.
Oh yeah, it's gonna be relevant.
Yeah, but how do you hide it?
It's just
her
in my
room is a
closet.
mess.
My room's a mess. It's like you couldn't find anything if you wanted to, you know. I know where everything is. You know when you make a mess of things and you're like, oh, it's under the jacket to the left of the, you know,
My life. Yeah.
dirt, you know, like whatever.
The left of the
The
dirt.
left of the dirt. The left of the dirt.
It's a paper clip.
You know that little like cat hairball? It's like right next to that.
living. Oh my God, it's horrific.
Why do I picture you living like a hoarder? I just picture you like hoarding. You go to the
You're not
arcade in the
wrong.
morning.
She's
Got coins.
Yeah.
You have a bucket of coins with a little handle.
I still have some at home.
And every
It's
time you
really
come
bad.
back from the arcade, you bring a new piece of to throw in your house.
You're really spot on. Like, it's not far off.
Are you clean?
Am I clean?
Yeah.
Like,
You're very
except
clean.
for the fact that my room is the size of like a thimble. Yeah, I'm clean.
She's good. They both are. Casey keeps his place really nice and cleans up after himself, and Nia does. And
Oh my God.
I'm just
My thing
like
is
I
the-
said, I'm scatterbrained
He
all
loves-
over the
he-
place.
Cleaning while
goes
you're
with
cooking.
everything.
He loves to cook. I
Oh
keep
my
hitting
God.
this. Sorry, go ahead.
That's
tell your
like
story.
so satisfying. Like
But
when you're
say what?
cooking and then like something's boiling and you're like, I'm gonna wash the pan that I just used. And then when you're done cooking, there's no dishes in the sink. You're done.
It's like
That's the most satisfying thing to
It's
me.
the
There's
simple things
nothing
in
more
life.
irritating than walking into the kitchen and seeing like a million pans and just being like,
You mean walking into my house
Yes.
and seeing what my family has left behind?
I'm like, oh my God,
me
just
like
clean it.
scrubbing at the end of the night. Me and my mom being like, oh my God, just get it all. And the our dishwasher broke.
You're like, he's gonna throw a fit.
How am I supposed to wash my Gerard Butler mug if I don't have a dishwasher in the house? It's just hell.
You sound like Dan. I'm definitely more like you. I can't. I'm a scatterbrained, dirty person. Everybody here talks about how dirty I am.
You are.
Damn, that's
so
rude.
why don't you clean though?
That's what I've been asking for 8 years.
You know, it's like I always feel like I have
It's
something
not-
better to do, and it's not a priority.
you
It's
don't.
not that we don't want to eventually. It just
Yes.
never happens.
Wait, I have an
We'll
idea.
get
How
to
about
it.
heyviolet
We'll
comes and
get
cleans your
to
house?
Oh, that'd be amazing.
I literally love cleaning. I'll do it.
Oh my God, I would love it.
Just give me your address if you just say it right now and your social security.
What's your address?
What's your address?
149 1131.
Is this getting bleeped?
I'll give it to you later. Wait, question. One, we have brand new music out. Obviously, we're building an album here.
Hopefully.
Not so obvious.
Hopefully.
We don't even know.
We're kind of testing the waters of these new songs, you know, because it has been a little while since we've released music. But honestly, we don't know. We maybe an EP, maybe an album. We're trying, you know, we're just doing whatever.
My favorite part is we've just been able
We're
to do
chilling.
music videos for all of our singles
I
so
know.
far.
Right.
It's
I
like a
love that.
dream. I'm gonna be really sad when we do an album and it's like, oh, we can't do 12 music
videos
videos.
for every single
I'm like,
one.
are you sure? Dude, it's not in the budget.
Yeah.
But yeah.
You guys had a pretty hands-on experience when it came to Clean, right? That was the video you guys did?
Yes, this was super fun. We basically, I feel like for the majority, this whole block of singles, we've been working so hard with the different directors that we've been working with to write the treatments basically with them. And it kind of, the main one was Queen of the Night, which was all written by us. Like we wrote that whole treatment.
Wow.
But we worked with Ariel Michelle on our last video for Clean, and we gave her like this mood board and this different treatment, and then she wrote up a different treatment with all of our reference photos and all of our color palettes and all that stuff, and she just made it look so expensive. It was awesome. We just got like a cut back of it, or actually the final cut of it, and I'm freaking out.
So, what is the creative process like, and how do you guys divide and conquer? Like, what do each of your strengths when it comes to everything from crafting a record to producing a record to doing the video?
Casey edits all of our YouTube videos. He does all that. He hates it.
I hate it, man.
I hate it. They're digging me a grave,
that
man.
editing just kills me.
But you're so good at it.
So
and then,
good at it.
like, I feel like it just depends on what medium we're doing. Like, when we write treatments and all that stuff, I love looking at Pinterest and finding different photos. And kind of, I love storytelling. Like, I love writing in general. So I love just being, like, having some idea and then bringing it to them and having them fill it out, basically.
Yeah.
And being like, oh, we should add this here. Or, like, how about this little Easter egg here? And blah, blah, blah. So, like, I feel like when we get in a room together, it's really good because we all have different things that we love to work on. Casey loves the details.
Yeah.
I like big picture stuff.
Yeah,
I
you're
can't.
the dreamer.
I just
I'm
like
the
to
doer.
go.
Yeah,
Yeah,
she just
and
likes
Rena,
to go.
and
I
Rena,
go.
yeah, Rena's like, as
I
soon
don't know
as we
where
got
I'm
it
going, but
done,
I'll
she's
do it.
like, yeah, but you love, like, if we're like, oh, we want to set up the studio looking like this, you're like, all right, we're doing it now. She's like,
Yeah, it has to happen now.
yeah, or it's never happening. So it's all our different, like, we're running all these motors, basically.
Are you all in the room when you craft every record?
No.
Mostly you?
Yeah, it's pretty much. I mean, you know, obviously there are a couple songs that we didn't write, but when I'm like recording, like vocals on it, or if I am, you know, when I'm writing songs and stuff, sometimes y'all are there, sometimes not.
Sometimes it
Just
depends.
depends.
It
Sometimes
also
it's just
depends
me.
on the producer, the writers. Like, sometimes they don't want a bunch of other people. Sometimes we get close with the writers. Like Michael Jade, he loves having us come by, and we all love joking around and working together. And
It
doing
just
guitar
depends how
parts.
the other people work.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, some producing teams have like, you know, up to like 8 people, so they don't want another like.
Yeah. Then it's
Bunch,
like
and
10
then it's
people in
just
the
like-
room, it's
Yeah,
too much.
another 10, 11.
Just
He got
I did a
homeschooled.
major in math.
Just too many people there eating the
Yeah,
free food.
so-
Exactly.
Yeah.
But you know,
Taking the credit.
All
Yeah,
the snacks
exactly.
gone.
Yeah, sometimes it'll be the 3 of us, sometimes me and Casey, sometimes me and Nia. It's just, yeah,
It's just whatever.
it's whatever.
How has your creative process changed, eliminating the 2 other members since last time we all hung out?
Well, Miranda was the only one
Sorry,
who.
eliminating.
It sounds like a game show.
Yeah.
Since eliminating 2 members.
Who's gonna last the
America
longest?
has voted you off. We wish you good luck.
Miranda wrote. It was just the 4 of us who would write.
Got
So it didn't change that much because it was only the 4 of us who were involved.
And then
mean, yeah.
then she just kind of left amicably. You know, she was she didn't love like the touring lifestyle and everything like that. So
I mean,
it
it's
was
not
just,
for everyone. It's rough.
yeah,
Dude, it is very hard.
yeah.
Yeah.
One of my best friends is living his life in a van, a minivan right now,
Really?
for 3 months on the road.
Wow.
It's his
Whoa.
first time.
Yeah,
Real-
that's rough.
And it's like his real test if he wants to do this. And
Yeah.
Is he liking it so far? Do you know?
he's
Good and bad.
Yes. It's ups and downs, and some days better than the next.
Yeah.
For sure.
But he loves the show.
Yeah.
And that's what he's really understanding is like, it's literally 15 hours, 20 hours of
For 30 minutes.
for
Like,
30
yeah.
minutes
Yeah.
of this high
Yeah.
Yeah.
that you just can't even, it's hard to
Yeah.
put into words.
I
You
agree with
figure
that.
out, yeah.
I agree with that completely because I love traveling. I love touring. That whole thing is great, but shows are where it's at for me. Like
Yeah.
I forget anything that's like bad going on, like whatever is like happening, whether it's like, you know, good, bad, whatever. It just disappears on stage,
Yeah,
and I'm
completely
you know right there, and like we're all just
To be honest, though,
Good.
I know this is like messed up to say, but I would prefer the 15 hours a day in the van as opposed to like an hour in a plane. I cannot.
Really?
I
Why?
hate.
Yeah,
I literally
I
when we
love
had to
I hate the
fly
planes.
when we had to fly for the last. I'm honestly really dreading. Like I don't know if I have to go to therapy or do hypnosis or something
Start
for the
taking
next time.
boats across.
I would rather take
To
boats.
Europe.
I would rather
Leave
do
3 months
that.
early.
Yeah, because I cannot, like, for some reason, my body does not agree with it. I get super anxiety. I hate enclosed spaces. Every time we get on a flight, somebody's messing up the bathroom or getting sick somewhere, and I just cannot stand being. And also, people just smell, and just like I smell, and I'm like, I don't like being in this cramped space.
Like plane etiquette.
I
Like,
just wanna-
How
I
is it
also-
2019 and it's like
There's no way
people-
for me to
I agree.
leave, though. There's no way for me to go. Like,
Yeah, you
I
can't-
can't just
once you're
open
up,
the
you're
door.
up.
Yeah, you're trapped. At least in the van, it's like, hey, can we pull over? Yeah.
Yeah,
And you
I
can
need
stop
some,
and get
yeah,
out and like
move my legs and like
the
get some
plane
fresh
is
air.
just-
Well, bus life is probably ideal.
Bus life
Bus
is
life is,
ideal.
but even van life, I liked when we had to drive, what was it, to San Diego to do one show or something. I loved that because it was just, even though it's cramped and you're with a bunch of people, I find places to, I mean, I'm not like a tall person, so I can kind of like.
You find your nook.
Yeah, and but like for some reason, just planes, and also the food is terrible. Your stomach's grumbling the entire time. Man, screw that.
I don't want to be on a plane with you. Holy
I'm so sorry. That's something that I just have to comment on. I love plain food.
You're crazy.
You're crazy.
I
Food's good.
love plain food.
You're crazy.
Plain food's pretty
It's
good.
so good.
First
You're
of
like
all-
the first person
Yeah, I
I've
like
met
plain
that
food.
like
Hold on.
so good.
If you're sitting in economy, they're not giving you any food. What airline?
Well,
are you
okay,
on?
If
when you do
the
the long
flight's
flights.
long enough, yeah.
Oh.
If it's over 5 hours, that's
Okay.
what I dream of. Like
That's my worst nightmare.
Yeah, that is horrible.
I'm like I could not wait for my vegetarian meal.
Or your vegan meal. Yours is even blander than my meal is.
It's like a matzah.
Yeah, it's like,
It's like literally broccoli. And
Yeah.
that's about it.
Broccoli.
like steamed broccoli, no butter. Like, yeah, can't wait for that plain
Yum.
food.
I love it. I don't know.
A single
What can
stalk
I
of broccoli
say?
and a cracker.
What do you get on planes?
I get the vegetarian stuff.
Really?
Yeah. And it's
See, I
it's
just-
like it's like bread and broccoli, and I love it.
It's great.
You know what you gotta do? You gotta stop spending money on stupid things like Gerard Butler mugs and save up to fly first class, okay? If you didn't spend all this ridiculous money at the arcade on these mugs,
Hey, I'm very happy in my economy seat. I have small legs. I lean forward to sleep like this.
You know what?
Well, I can't do it properly with the mic, but I literally I'll put the tray down and I just sleep on that.
Oh, I have
And
battles
I got my
in that. What
aisle
were you
seat.
saying?
Like I'm
I
chill.
was just gonna say private planes. If we could get a private plane, that would cure it
Yeah, if
all.
we
Yeah,
just
because
didn't
we-
get a mug
It would just
and got
be-
a
it would
private
just be
plane
us and
instead.
the crew
you can
on a
also
plane.
live in a box too.
Yeah.
That's
They're
a great
really
idea. You know, or just like boxcar across the like
That's it.
train
I'm fine.
hobo style.
Or
Like,
Flintstone it.
so just walk. More difficult.
But by the way, like back to touring, that is a real test, right?
Yeah.
After touring the country, like, is it worth doing? Do you want to do it? Can you do it?
Right.
And is that high from the show enough to keep you going?
I think,
Yes,
yeah,
and
Well,
but
yes.
that's
to us, it's worth
yeah.
it, but to
some other people, it might not.
yeah, it might not be worth it.
I
That's
think
fine.
I think it's just like I don't know what else I would want to do. Like I've thought about it like, oh, like cuz sometimes we'll get the question like if we weren't doing music, what would you be doing? And I'm just like
Dumb question.
I'm just like this is all I wanted. Like and I know that's such a cop out answer because it's like, oh, they can't think of anything, but it's like there's
I would
nothing
die.
else that would make me as happy. I would
Yeah.
die. No, I mean, there's nothing else that would make me as happy. Like the shows are worth it for the traveling because I love traveling anyway. So I wake up in a new city and we're just like, oh, where are we today? Cool. Like we get to explore around and like, I don't know. I'm just like, I can't fathom not like loving that. I don't know.
Is it relieving to know that I don't want to use the word eliminated, but you've eliminated somebody from your group that wasn't as gung-ho and as passionate about this lifestyle as you guys are?
I think it was just better for her.
Yeah, she did it in such a she sat us down one night and she messaged us and was like, "Hey, can I sit down with you guys?" And we all talked about it. And when you just know somebody's not happy, why? It's like staying in a relationship and you're like, this marriage is not working. Neither of us are happy. Then she flourished. She's like dating. Yeah, she then flourished. She's dating this guy who she loves, and she's doing a podcast with her best friend, and she's teaching, which she was always meant to do. So it's like one of those things where you're like, people will be like, "Oh, I miss this person or I miss that person for your band." I'm like, why would you miss it if they weren't happy being here?
Exactly.
And it's even though she loved the shows, the rest of it wasn't worth it. We started in a band when we were 11 years old. She must have been 12 or 11 at the time. So it's like, at that age, do you know you want to be doing this for the rest of your life? And luckily, the three of us, it was like that. But for her, it just wasn't. And it ended up we're still on good terms. And she's happy, which is all you can ask for.
That is totally okay.
Yeah.
I've worked with many people for many, 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 many years that come and go. And if you're not happy, you want to if you really care about somebody, you want them to be happy.
Exactly, yeah.
So you want to do whatever allows them to be happy and help them find their happiness.
Yeah.
So what are you going to force her to stay?
You're going to stay. You can't leave. The contract says so.
That's what we do to Casey.
You can't leave.
You're the only one.
Only 267 more days till the contract's up.
Well, what contract?
like-
It's like,
no
have we
contract.
written you
Scraping
into?
it on his apartment wall.
It's scratched into the wall.
That's why we're never invited over because there's just
In
gigantic
blood.
tallies. Like,
We don't know where he got it from. Is it his own? Is it someone else?
oh my god.
Was the Ian thing more intense and a little bit messier?
It was definitely
Definitely.
more intense. It was just kind of it was a
Discombobulating.
really it was a really discombobulating situation. Like, I mean, I found out on Twitter from someone, that those allegations were happening. And I mean, it was just like really shocking to us. And, we just don't like, I don't know, there's like not much to say about it, it's just kind of like it just was, and we just didn't want to.
Dealt with it.
Yeah, we dealt with it the way that we did, and we think we did the best thing that we could given the scenario,
Yeah.
So, I mean,
100%.
Yeah.
You don't want to.
but it was definitely it was a stickier situation, absolutely, just because it was like it wasn't so calm, It would like Miranda leaving was like we all sat down, it was chill, like we understood. She like expressed herself, and it was fine. With this, it was like waking up, and it was like a flurry of emotion, you know what I mean? So yeah, definitely different.
You responded in the right way.
I think
hope
so.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely think that we did like what we could, we did the best that we could given any information that we had, So
Was it a hard decision to make?
I think it was
It was a difficult situation overall, just in the way that like it was so much with so little time to figure out what was going on. It's kind of like trying to find your feet and being like trying to gather all the information you can, because I guess you don't.
And people
You
people
don't
on the
know.
internet want
I think-
answers immediately,
Yeah.
and you're
Yeah.
trying to like figure out
The
I mean,
legality.
we
of
literally
everything.
woke
getting
up
the
to
bottom
it,
of
and we were
things,
like, yeah, sorry,
yeah,
I didn't mean to interrupt
no,
you.
that's it.
I mean, I don't think it was like difficult in that we know what we stand for, but it was difficult because of how much time we spent with him. It was just kind of like this, like, whoa, like what's going on, So, but again, there was like, I don't think there was any other option that would have been better.
Was there any point where you questioned, like, is this the person I even knew?
We definitely.
It's hard because we don't even know the answer. We don't know what, because no one ever followed up.
Right, we haven't heard anything more on the situation.
Yeah.
We never got answers. We haven't heard anything from
even though we tried to get
his
answers.
camp, or
Their camp.
So we're kind of just left this with the same info that everyone else is. Like,
Right.
don't really have answers.
Yeah. So it was like, it was. Sorry, Rena, I think I interrupted you. No. Yeah, it was definitely more difficult, just like figuring out, because you don't want to side either way. If you're like, I literally, there's no one who blah blah blah. Like, it was less about like, oh, is that the person we knew? It's like we don't even know anything.
Yeah.
So it was like we did just basically what we thought was best for, like, yes, what we stand for, as well as the fans being comfortable, as well as it's not good to live in unsureness anyway. Like,
Yeah.
we didn't want to
100%.
do that. So we were like, we'd rather separate ourselves as much from that situation as possible, I
Yeah.
think. Yeah.
And now we thrive.
And now we
Now
now we low-key thrive.
And now we glow.
Did that situation delay releasing music at all?
No, it was the
No.
day that the music came out.
It was
From
the
the 2-year
it was,
hiatus.
Yeah, it was
Yes.
the day that Better by
Yeah.
Myself
The
came
first
out.
song was
So
released.
it did not delay it. I definitely think that, it which, it was absolutely important. It obviously drew attention towards the situation. However, we're still gonna. We love our music and we want to share that with fans, but we were still dealing with this situation, of course, But as far as like delaying music, I mean, we wanted to, after we dealt with the situation, that all we can do is move on, with the three
And
of us.
Yeah. And
So-
those things get scheduled in advance, and
Yeah.
it's not, you
Yeah.
can't just like pull the plug and have contact Spotify, tell them it's
Yeah,
off.
because
Like,
it's like it's
Like,
not just the
it's
people
already
in the
set in
band.
motion,
Yeah,
yeah.
you've got like a
It's so
whole
much
label
bigger.
and all this
It
stuff
is.
behind you.
There's so
it's
many
like,
moving
when, like
parts.
sometimes when you see fans that are like, I can't believe you'd still go and release it, blah blah blah, and you're like, it's not like it's already been done.
But by the way,
Like,
he also was an original member of the band, wasn't?
No.
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 And,
It doesn't justify anything.
No,
Of course
not.
But it definitely wasn't like, I mean, we've had Casey around for so long. I mean, like, it was just once it became the three of us, it just felt a lot like more. It felt like growth. It felt like more natural. Like we're just so used to each other, So it's like there's no like trying to figure out like what we like, what we don't. We're just like, all right, potato.
Yeah. I don't know what you're talking about.
I'm gonna start ending every conversation like that. Potato.
Boom.
But you guys have been together since you're 11 or 12 years old.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, Rena and I have been together forever, but like Casey came along when you were 16, 17 years old. Yeah. And I feel like because those are like your years of growing and becoming an adult, he already knew us, who we were before, and we knew him, who he was before. And then we kind of grow up, and it's like, yeah, you're just like family. You're just like my brother. Yeah. He hates that I say that though, but you are basically you're blood, basically.
Show me the blood. Show me the receipts.
Step.
You take a blood path. Some weird blood out.
No, but it's deeper than that. That's all. Like, it's just like we spend basically every. I don't know why I say basically when you're at the house every day, but
every waking moment together.
Okay.
Beep. Don't show my grandma this. Don't send her the link. She's gonna be mad I said a bad word. But yeah, you spend every day together, and you get on each other's nerves, and we fight like we're family, and then we get back together like we're family, and it's just normal at this point. It's like we're in a band. Like what's
we do a thing.
We've got like the sixth sense now, where you just walk in and you're like, someone's in a bad mood.
Oh my God, it literally is like that. Or someone's in a really good mood.
Yeah.
Or like he's acting a little bit crazy and manic today.
That's so true, because like literally... Well, whatever.
No, I want to hear it.
No, I mean, sometimes like you and I will be like, oh, Casey's grumpy today.
Yeah. And literally, I'm like, yeah.
We'll say someone's moody today.
No, my favorite part is like when he's acting all sassy, and I'm like, Case, when did you eat last? And he's like, blah 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 blah. I'm like, can we get you some food? And you're like, yeah. And then you like your mood like clears up. You're like, yeah, I just needed to eat.
Susceptible to hangriness.
That's okay. We're all susceptible
Obsessed
to be
with
in.
hangriness.
We're obsessed.
Like sassy. I don't know.
Dates for new music?
Ooh.
I mean, looks at me. So we have like a couple of things in the works just for like hopefully maybe touring early next year, or maybe I don't know, mid next year or something like that. We're just like kind of testing the waters of like what we want to do, but we do have a couple of songs that we have our ears on, and
Stream clean so I can buy that mug.
that too, but yeah, we have like some new stuff in the works, but
This is priority. We got a stream for the mug.
Mm-hmm.
Stream for the mug.
I like the use of the word hallelujah in clean.
Oh, thank you.
She's freaking. That's her favorite song.
That's the song I wish I wrote.
Yeah. So like having
so
it
just
a lyric in the
that,
song.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Every time it does that part, I have to do jazz hands.
Yeah. No, but
I'm driving, both hands off the wheel.
No.
Rest in peace, other drivers.
And yourself. No, but it is funny the fact that her favorite song's Hallelujah, and it's in our song, so it makes you happy.
Just happened. Just happened like that.
Yeah.
Coinky dink.
Do you do jazz hands?
No, but if I come to your show, I will.
Okay,
right.
perfect.
Yay.
Do them right now.
You mean when?
Yeah.
When?
When you come to our show.
Yeah, when I come to your show.
Ew.
Oh my God.
Why'd you wing?
Because
Why'd
she
you
wings
wing?
first.
I don't recall. I
we have
plead
it.
the fifth.
We have it all on camera.
Cameras everywhere.
And in this moment, you realize we've been watching.
At this moment. A little late.
By the way, you're chewing gum?
What?
Do you have gum in your mouth?
That is
No.
so
What? Did you start this job yesterday?
I don't have gum in my mouth.
Maybe it's just your really white teeth that looked like a white piece of gum.
Beautiful teeth.
Thanks, guys.
Is that an
Good
ad
job.
for
They
Cold
match your
War?
boots.
We stand veneers. I don't know. What is
Stand veneers?
You don't have veneers, but
I
don't.
wish he had veneers. Do you know he goes to the dentist once a week?
Listen, that's not
No.
important.
What is important?
No,
Then-
wait.
I do. I love the dentist.
Really?
I
Wow.
can we
I
trade
like going to
lives?
the dentist too.
do. You do?
Dude, what is
Wow.
going on?
You guys have
Wow.
been trading
Wait,
wings.
when's your
Maybe this
birthday?
is something.
My birthday is December 12th.
Oh, you're a Sag.
Yes.
Okay,
You mean
sorry.
Sagittarius?
Clap
A
for you.
Sagittarius.
All right, go me.
No, I love
Sagittarius?
Sagittarius. One of my best friends is a Sagittarius. His birthday's December 11th.
Sagittarius
Oh my
like a
God.
dinosaur.
A Sagittarius. The freaking baby head. That's a Sagittarius.
It looks like it.
Sorry.
No,
I
no,
just
that's
gotta
okay.
say. I just wanted to know 2 fire signs. That's all.
I don't know
is
what
that-
any of
is
this
that-
means.
She's.
Compatibility.
Huh? No, she doesn't like Sagittarius. Sorry.
It's not you.
It's you.
It's me.
Are you on the pattern?
I am, and it
We're all
literally
on the
reads me so hard. I hate it.
It's scary.
Yeah.
Like the first few days, it was like making me super anxious because I was just like, who is watching me? I don't like being watched.
It roasts us every
Your
day.
FBI agent.
Yeah, it's like sitting there writing, being like, you know what she needs to fix?
Yeah.
Abandonment issues.
Throw
like,
that in
okay.
there.
Dan,
What-
you got to get on the pattern.
I don't know
bro.
what's happening.
Okay,
It's
but
an
it'll
app.
be easier. The pattern is a
Oh.
little bit like, it doesn't seem as astrology. I feel like they market it towards people who are like, astrology is BS. Like,
Yeah.
so does it read you to filth?
Oh my God. Yeah, it's really scary.
Yeah.
It's really scary.
When's your birthday?
May 2nd.
May 2nd.
I'm a Taurus.
Taurus. Yeah. Oh, Earth sign. Oh, yay. No, I just got excited. It's another
Yeah,
Earth
no,
sign. I'm
I'm
just
like-
relating. I
Not
can't
into
see
this?
Rena. I'm just.
And by the way,
I am just not like Nia knows like
The whole
all
thing?
the crap.
really,
and I'm
though.
like,
But you know what? Now I don't get it because people have their sign and then they have like an Earth, a moon. I'm like,
those
what the
ones.
hell
Oh,
is
so
happening?
your those
Rising.
ones matter. Like just as much, if not more, especially if you're looking for compatibility. You don't generally look at your sun sign. And correct me if I'm wrong, Astrobebs or anything on Twitter. They're never gonna see this. It's fine. They don't care about us. But if like your Venus like is in, it just depends. Your placement, the
It's
time you're
complicated.
born. Basically, what it is your sun sign is almost like your core beliefs. So it's like what kind of you aspire to be, I guess, is like in simplest terms. Your moon sign is how you see yourself. So I'm a Libra moon, which is like generally pretty emotional, creative.
basically, correct me if I'm wrong. The time, place, and date that you were born
matters.
matters in like where all of the planets and some stars were
Yeah,
and stuff like
if
that.
you don't if you don't relate to your horoscope, there's a reason for that because horoscopes are kind of BS.
They're
it's
so
like,
general.
Oh, like you're Sagittarius, meaning like you love to travel and you love to blah blah
Yeah.
blah and you
You're
love
like,
to. It's like
who
anyone could
doesn't?
freaking relate to this. Like
The
what
pattern needs everything. Like I gave
Yeah.
them where I was born, the time I was
Yeah.
born.
Your
like,
mother's maiden name, like
your social security code.
This is Zuckerberg trying to good old
Cash
Zucky
in, yeah,
getting in there stealing your info.
the pattern is you got to get on there. It's very scary.
I don't know about that.
I told you it reads me every day. but
Yeah.
today it was very on point. Yesterday it was on point when I was telling you that it literally summarized our relationship.
See, you can also you can check your compatibility as
good?
friends
No.
as well, and it'll literally
No.
tell you. It tells me every day. It's like Rena's having a hard time. Don't press her buttons, and I press them anyway. But like, no, but it'll be like it'll tell me.
you need to get on this so you can know exactly where I'm at.
I know where you're at
Do
every
it,
day.
do
You,
it.
No,
you
this-
need to know where how
sync
I'm
up.
feeling.
I don't need an app to tell me that.
No, you do. So you can come in prepared every day. So yeah, I'm telling you.
Oh,
this
I'm prepared every day. You're never prepared.
all I'm saying
See
is
what you
that
started?
this can
Look
cut,
what you've done.
this can cut down our fights.
Oh shoot,
kid
we're
make-
getting. Are we doing like? Are we?
Have you guys
Are
ever
we
gotten
Dr.
physical?
Filling it right
Yes.
now?
like physical fighting.
Yeah, they
I
take it
threw
out.
him on the ground once because he told me he was stronger than me, and I said, "You're not." And I had to prove my point.
So who won?
I don't even
Me.
remember that.
I did.
Many moons ago.
Many sons and whatever
What do you guys
else.
fight about?
Everything. I
Really?
mean, we don't have time.
We don't.
We don't have time.
It's not that many fights.
It's a lot more disagreements.
That's fine, but you know what? Friends do have disagreements as well. Like
Yeah.
I feel like Rena, Casey, and I fight at least once a day over stuff that doesn't matter, and then
Yeah.
it's like get over it.
It's like parents saying we're not arguing, we're discussing.
Yeah.
Shut up,
Yes.
parents!
Throwing
You're
glasses
arguing.
and plates. Like,
Let me this
just discussing.
this summarized my relationship with him perfectly. Stand
Oh,
by.
I want to hear it.
While he's finding this, I just have to say something. This is not a question. I
Okay.
like the symmetry in all the album artwork and the
Thank
single
Thank
artwork.
you. Her name is Carmi Gra. Carmi Gra. She's from Brazil. Berlin. Sorry, I'm
Berlin.
looking back at
The voice in the
like-
back.
I'm asking God over there.
Okay.
She's from Berlin, and she like reached out to her to do our artwork, and she's done like a brilliant job.
Yeah.
So follow
Yeah.
her on Instagram.
Yeah,
she's amazing.
It's very cool.
Yeah,
Symmetry.
Thank you.
Yeah.
He went to art school. this is what the pattern wrote. You might choose partners who act bossy and aggressive when it comes to what they want.
Okay.
They aren't willing to back down or be passive.
Dad just don't want to do that anyway.
In drastic cases, your partnerships could develop a love-hate dynamic.
That we love. Well, I don't I don't know your relationship that well. You're saying like, so I'm trusting what you're saying. Is it true?
You need to get on the pattern
Yeah.
ASAP.
You should get it. You'll know so much about you'll
We're
know
gonna
so
do
much
it
about
right
him.
afterwards.
I know too much about him. I don't think I need to know anymore.
I'm telling you don't know enough.
Yeah, and it literally.
But it's
the
not
pattern,
all about him. It's about you too.
Yeah, it's about how you guys can relate together and
not-
create a fulfilling,
A loving environment.
a loving environment. That's
That's what we want.
That's what we
That's
want.
what we want.
Should we do some Zen gardens in here as well?
How did this flip on us?
Would love it. Because the second you go, I have a question for you. No, but for real, you need to get on the pattern. It would make me feel very comfortable.
Okay.
If you were more in the loop on my emotional calendar.
I'll write it down and I'll research it later.
Okay, great. He's gonna research it.
Yeah,
It's a fucking app. Just download it.
It doesn't. It's not spooky. They don't like gather your information and sell it. They might. I mean, I've been getting a lot of weird calls lately, but it might not have anything to do with the pattern.
You guys.
There's a warrant out for your arrest.
Wait, you and I both.
So I read this Reddit thing, and it was talking about how how you get those freaking spam calls, and like I decided that instead of getting annoyed and saying F you on the calls, I'm going to start playing into it and wasting their time the way they waste my time.
She gets these ones that are like, your social security number has been compromised, and she'll
you
go,
are under arrest. And I was like, they're like, press 1 if you'd like to be connected to a blah blah blah. So I'm like 1, and then it's like bring, and I'm like, it rings, and the guy's on the other side phone, and he's like, hi, this is the Department of Social Security, blah blah blah. I'm like, yeah, that exists, but whatever. And I'm like, what did I do wrong? I was like, I'm sorry, I ran over the kids. It's not my fault. And then they hang up on me, and I'm like, gotcha. Got him.
How great do you feel 17 times a day as you stop what you're doing?
Each time
I
is a
can't
new-
believe
a
you
new
actually
high.
answer it.
Full rehearsal. I gotta take this.
Because I used to ignore it, or I used to like try. I've tried everything to try and get rid of them, and it just doesn't work. So I'm like, why don't I just start having fun with it? Like, and it makes it funny for times like these when I have anecdotal stories. Like,
I'm just picturing the most vital moments of your day. You're just interrupting. I gotta take this.
I'm in court doing like jury duty, and I'm like, guys, we need to hold this case.
Hold up.
I know this is a murder case, but I need to go answer this
It's
spam
very
call.
important.
Really
But
sticking it to the man.
what's weird is some of the spam calls, like, you can block their number and they just call from a different number.
Yeah.
No.
It's
You're
great.
the type of
I do
person
love
who-
it though. It's like call from like Zimbabwe, and you
Yeah.
answer, and it's like, this is the IRS. I'm like, they're calling me from Zimbabwe? I didn't know they had an office there.
It's their new office.
New headquarters. Like,
Zimbabwe, and it's always just someone you're like, and they say like improperly the name of it, and you're like, it is definitely not called
like, you are
the
under
Depart-
arrest.
Yeah,
Like,
you
come
the
get me.
Department
Dude,
of Social
I-
Security.
Yeah.
Like, no, it's
I
not.
fell for it one time, and I came very close to going to a Western Union and sending a man $100.
Are you kidding me?
Swear to God, I thought it was the IRS. I called my accountant, and everything is like, "Are you stupid?"
I called my mom one time and I did that when I was like 16.
the first time
this
they
is
called me,
last
I
year.
fell for it.
No, but actually, like, when I was like, when I think I was like 18, I hadn't gotten like that many
Yeah.
spam calls. So I got one that was like, hi, this is Apple. Like, we're detecting some like activity on your computer, blah, blah, blah. And I let them go on my computer.
Rena, no.
And then I got viruses.
Oh my God.
That's what
But
happens.
it's fine, like, whatever.
That's what
You're
what
okay.
happens when you like let
It's
someone
like,
unprotected
at least I have
go on your
company.
computer.
At least I have company.
And you have company in your computer. You never opened that computer. Is that why?
Company?
The computer's been closed 2 piles over next to that dirt
Yeah.
pile
Yeah,
in
the
the
dirt
room.
pile and the paper clip. Yeah, it's gone.
And a paper clip.
It's gone.
Okay. Hey, Violet, you're amazing.
Thank
Love
you
you
so
guys.
much for
Thank
having
you.
us, you guys.
You guys are awesome. Love, please listen to their new music. She needs to buy this mug. Only 2 easy streams a day will get her the mug. But also the music's dope. So
Thank you.
Thanks for hanging out and thanks for giving us energy.
Thanks for
Yeah,
having
come back in
us.
soon.
Hey, beautiful human, thanks for watching our full interview, but I get it. Like, a full interview is a lot. So we got a clips channel. We don't expect you to watch the full thing anymore, so we just gave you the highlights. Please subscribe and notifications and all that stuff. Okay, cool. I love you.